Have you ever considered relocating from your home country to another country for greener pastures, for career opportunities, business opportunities, and stuff like that? Have you? I haven't. I am that girl who so loves her homeland that I have committed to stay there forever. So when there was an opportunity for me to relocate, it was a break. I told myself my family and I could use a change of environment just to learn and have some exposure. I thought it was a great opportunity to just do that. However, this experience has been more than what I bargained for, in a good way and also in a challenging way, of course. And today I want to share that, and hopefully through this episode you see opportunities that you didn't imagine, and maybe you will consider a few things like relocating to a different country for greener pastures. So here's my history with relocation. I am committed to my country, Malawi. I believe that there's a contribution I can make by being there, building my business there, raising my children there. I know we're not a first world country, we're not fully developed, and there's some privileges we miss out on just by being underdeveloped. However, I see lots of opportunities in that, and that has always been my stance. Build my business, my life, and everything in Malawi. Of course, I love to travel, and that notion is always exciting. I love adventure, I love learning and growing, but it's different when you travel for holiday and when you travel to stay in a certain area. There are opportunities you won't see when you travel for a visit that exist when you travel to stay. There are some challenges that you won't even see, some good and bad things, of course, that you won't see when you just visit. So when I came to the UK, I came with a visitor mindset. I was going to stay in my cocoon, experience the good, keep working on my business, and then just go back home. However, it's been a few months here, and being a person who likes to pause and assess what I'm doing, where I'm going, what I'm learning, there's been some tremendous amount of growth and change of mind that I've gone through just by being in this country. Learning about a first world country, a developed country is fine, but living in one and seeing the opportunities there and seeing how you fit in and seeing your mindset exposed to a different way of thinking, a different culture is going to challenge you. And I am glad that I came to this country at a time when I have understood myself. I understand when I'm afraid of something and I'm shutting away. I understand when I'm excited and I'm ignoring things and stuff like that. So I have developed some level of self-awareness that allows me to be in a space and say, what is going on here? What is happening? What are the opportunities? One thing that I have noted also by being in this country is that there are very few Malawians. And in the good roles, in the good jobs, in the good professions, there are even fewer. And that has been interesting to me because after talking to a few people, I see that people are keen on opportunities, people from other countries. I have known that. We joke about Nigerians, we joke about Ghanaians, we joke about other people like Kenyans and South Africans being more open and being more aggressive, even Zimbabweans being more aggressive. Those are things that I've talked about, I've been in those conversations, but I have always defended my Malawi because I know my Malawianness, and I'm like, I understand that we're different and that's okay. We don't have to be like any other group of people to succeed. We can just be ourselves. But just coming here and seeing how many opportunities exist and how I have never heard of these opportunities before, in the sense that I'm a person who has been educated, I have gotten my qualifications, I have been in the industry for quite a while. There are things that I came here and had just these ignorant notions. I love my country so much, but just because you love Malawi, just because you love where you are does not mean you can't go elsewhere, get whatever, learn and grow from there and bring it back home. And that is something that was a big deal for me in my head. I'm like, Malawi, that's it. And so I have been challenged. I have had my eyes open, and I just want to share this so that if you are a kind of person who you are in a career, you're looking for growth, you're looking for opportunities, and you're thinking, I don't know what else, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to move around, I believe this can be an opportunity for you to look at beyond borders, opportunities beyond borders, especially with technology, and just think, how can I play my card in these spaces? Is there an opportunity for me? Can I go somewhere else and do what I want to do and then come back and do something else? You know, that kind of thing. It's not something that I considered a possibility, and that is why I'm doing this video, so that if you're not from these countries that are pro going out and getting it, because some countries are very pro, let's go, every chance you get, let's go, and you're from a country like mine where we're like very enclosed, very maybe fearful, very reserved, then I think this can be a great eye-opener. So stick around and let's go into what I have learned so far. Number one is that they are big opportunities. Let me just give you a simple example. I've been an accountant in Malawi for quite some time, maybe almost a decade. And the interesting thing that would happen is if there's a vacancy at a top bank, for example, you would hear about it. And your whole class would hear about it. And you'd know who were being shortlisted for it or who was applying for it and stuff like that. That's how small the market is. And so when I came here, that was the mindset. It's just a little thing, you know, it's not something I considered like, oh, this is how I think or anything. I just came here and I was like, okay, I do my business. There are opportunities to work from home, remote opportunities and stuff like that. So how about earning extra money with my qualifications? I started looking into that and I saw a pool of opportunities. It was crazy. Now that was day one. And the next day, another pool of opportunities. I signed up to different job boards and it was mind-blowing how many banks exist. It was mind-blowing how many roles exist. It was just mind-blowing just how many manufacturing companies are looking for accountants. Like, the demand is crazy. And that is something I was never used to. I'm not used to opportunities being that much. I am used to the scramble. I am used to being in your business and knowing like, oh, so you applied for that role, I applied too, so how did it go? Like, everybody knows. In your class, everybody knows. In your field, everybody knows that there are, okay, 4 posts that have opened up at this place. That's not the case here. And it was very interesting because I thought, okay, there are some top banks that I know about. So I will not mention, but you know the top banks that operate in these spaces. And I was like, okay, those are top banks. And then I'll see another opportunity at a bank and I'll be like, oh, this must be a smaller bank. I Google it, it's another top bank, another financial institution. I'm very interested in financial institutions and wealth creation and wealth management, investments and stuff like that. So I was looking for opportunities in those places and it was just mind-blowing. Coming from a place where there are 11 banks in total to a place where there are about 344 banks. Mind blown. Now, when you see those opportunities like that, I know in your head you'll be like, oh, but there are lots of bad issues, however, that come in. But I just want you to rest in that idea that if you're in a place that you're thinking, I need new opportunities, I need growth. I'll give you another example. Being an accountant limited me to very few roles in Malawi. That meant being either a financial accountant, a management accountant, and that meant I'll be a CFO, and that's pretty much it. The other time I was talking with my friend and we're trying to say, okay, what can we do as accountants who are not typical accountants, who love communicating, accountants who love writing, and we couldn't find a way out. You are forced into a box because the opportunities are so limited. You can't be an accountant that is focused on change management, an accountant that is a change analyst, an accountant that is a transformational something, an accountant that is just an analyst. Like, there are so many facets to this qualification that exist that didn't exist to me. And I am a person who believes I've done my research, I'm quite exposed, but I admit that so much of the opportunities that I'm seeing are things that I never thought could exist. And I remember my friend talking about strategy as a role, and she was like, well, I don't know what to do in the strategy role, people don't understand it. And here, being an accountant, you can be a strategy something, a strategy this, strategy that. For me, it was like, wow. And these are serious roles. These are not just pop-up roles, because sometimes it happens in maybe forward-thinking companies where they'll be like, okay, we want an accountant with an experience in law or something like that, so we just create a role. But that role is not understood by many people, and eventually when that leader goes away, that role will fade away because people don't understand what you're doing and how it adds value. So you're just going to be an accountant, you're either going to be a manager, you're either going to be an HR, you're going to be in marketing. There are no areas where you can mix these different skill sets and qualifications, and that is abundant here. So I was saying, if you are a person who is looking for greener pastures, you're looking for a different industry to operate in, you love the skill sets you have, but you don't want to be boxed in. Like the way I'm saying, an accountant who doesn't want to do financial reporting, you don't want to do management reporting, you're thinking, I want to be a change catalyst, I want to be in strategic roles, like change makers in these different roles. then look into it. Look into it. There are opportunities for you to operate in that space. So many of them. It's crazy, but it's good. Moving on from that, then, I want you to understand that there will be an opposition, which is ignorance and resistance. I had that too when I moved here. I remember getting on a call with somebody and they were like, oh, you won't be able to get those opportunities. They're limited. They don't offer them to foreigners like us. Those opportunities are for this type of people. And it's easy to believe that, especially when you have a whole range of people who have had bad experiences in looking for roles like that. However, I want you to understand that just because somebody had a bad experience in something doesn't mean you will have a bad experience. Times are changing. God is still on the throne. Opportunities are different. Your approach to things is different. So just educate yourself. Don't sit on that spot of ignorance and say, it is how it's always been, this is how it looks, back away from it. Just resign yourself to these roles. There are a lot of foreigners who are in the health sector. And I remember somebody telling me that, well, if you're looking for good pay in the time that you're here, why can't you just become a nurse or something like that? And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting because I've never thought of it that way. But that's people's experience. When they want to break through in spaces like this, they get into the health sector because the opportunity is there. However, it doesn't mean that's the flow you should take. You can try something different. You can challenge the status quo. You can pray. You can talk to God and say, what do you want me to do here? How can I maneuver here? You will have resistance within yourself. And you'll be like, okay, this is not going to work. You can have resistance like I had, where I'm like, I'm not here to do this. I don't want to look at that. I'm here to do 1, 2, 3. I'm not being open to anything else. Acknowledge the fact that being in a new space, looking at new opportunities, will expose your blind spots, will expose new possibilities. That might be good, might be bad, I'm not sure, depending on the circumstances, but be open. Be open and address those with knowledge. Address those with research. Address those with experimentation. Don't just resist it and stay on your corner. I'm saying that because I did that. Resisted it, stayed on my own corner and said, this is how it is, that's what I'm here for, that's it. But I thank God because I'm a person of faith. So every time I have an opinion, I have to check, why am I resisting? Why am I ignorant of this? Why am I afraid of this? And I pray. And it's beautiful what God does to you when you talk to him. He'll start showing you that you are afraid because I'm pulling you out of your comfort zone. You are afraid because you don't know how to maneuver in this space. It's comfortable to be in your home country and you know who to call, you know where to go when things don't work. But here you're like exposed, you don't know what to do. So that will bring in fear. Address that fear. Don't fight it. Yeah, don't fight it. Dress it up as, no, I'm just being careful. Address it. It's fear. It's okay to be afraid, but it's not okay to hide behind that fear and then be stagnated. So that's the next step. Opportunities exist, so many of them, but you will have hindrances, which are mostly resistance internal to you, and it could be resistance outside you, where people tell you stories that are negative, where you hear testimonies that are negative, but don't just be like, oh, this is how it is. No, be able to address it within yourself and see how God will open doors for you, how it plays in your life, and how you can maneuver. You'll be surprised when you put God into it and when you just stay open-minded. The third thing I'll say is experiment, look around, position yourself. Oh my goodness, I take myself as somebody who is pretty confident, and so it was very shaky for me to understand that my confidence had limits. We always operate in comfort zones, and unless you intentionally move yourself out of comfort zones, which means there'll be fear and discomfort, then you will not grow and you will not be able to achieve your fullest potential. So when I propose these things to you, I'm not saying you should be in this country to be able to see these opportunities. You can be wherever you are. We have the privilege of technology. I was talking to another friend. This friend has found a great job here, but they found it from Malawi. And I was really curious. I was like, how did you do that? And the first thing they told me was, I applied. They're like, you'd be surprised how many people look at these roles and just shun them and just think, no, it can't be possible. Or they don't even make an effort to find roles like this because they think we are so far apart in maybe culture, countries, opportunities. Let me stay in my lane. And that is a very limiting factor. You can position yourself for elevation. You can position yourself to find opportunities that are beyond you. I know that my friends and I would sit at home and say, oh, somebody found a job with World Bank. Oh, they found a job with this company and they're going abroad. Oh, and we just talk about it as if it's something beyond our reach. We have technology, we have LinkedIn and so many job boards that are open. Like in the UK right now with Brexit, there's so many opportunities for people who are highly skilled. I didn't even know I was highly skilled. I didn't know. You know what? Because I didn't have that understanding. I had never looked into it. So when people are talking about highly skilled people, they're like, no, people like a chartered accountant, people like architects, people like engineers and such professions, you're considered highly skilled. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. But there is a demand for people like that here. So you can be in Malawi and position yourself correctly on LinkedIn. Don't just be on social platforms to play around or gossip about people. Oh, this one is saying this, or this one is praising themselves. I've had people call me and tell me, oh, why are you posting that there? Why are you doing that there? Or they're talking about somebody else and they're saying, oh, they just want to show us that they got promoted. They just want to do this. Position yourself. These platforms have so many people from different areas and people need those skills and talents that you have. Don't look down on yourself. Position yourself. Go on your LinkedIn and put your achievements there. Update your LinkedIn. Say what you want. Sell yourself. Market yourself. Don't just do it as a side thing. The world is bigger. The opportunities are tremendous. You don't know who will see you. And then be intentional about networking. Don't just be on LinkedIn, post everything, but look around. What kind of roles are you looking for? What kind of companies do you want to work for? And then you go like, okay, I want to work for World Bank, I want to work for African Development Bank, I want to work for Barclays, I want to work for whatever you want to work for, and then say, okay, let me see who is there, how can I connect, who is recruiting for them? There are recruiters who are busy looking for talent, and you're there sitting on the talent and complaining about the lack of opportunities when you could easily get these roles. Well, not easily, but you could if you put some effort in it. There are more roles here. I heard in the news the other time that there are more roles, more vacancies than there are people to fill those vacancies. And I was like, wow, have you ever heard of that? For me, that was new. I was like, oh my goodness, that's interesting. You know, so if you position yourself right, there are so many incentives for people to find talent elsewhere. I was looking at visa opportunities and there was this other visa that has just been introduced. It's called the Scale Up Visa. It's for small entities here that are looking to attract talent from elsewhere. That's a huge opportunity. And I was asking my friend the other day, how come we never know about this when we're in Malawi? I don't know, but I found some Nigerian YouTubers, I found some Nigerian bloggers who are sharing all these opportunities, all visa openings, all these adjustments in visas, and they're sharing all these opportunities to other people, not to everyone. Not everyone would want to leave the country, but to those who want to see opportunities elsewhere. And I was like, oh my goodness, how come we don't do this? How come we don't aggressively look for opportunities and then share it with our community? Yeah, so I believe that you are sitting on amazing talents, you're sitting on opportunities, and there are so many openings for even jobs that are low-skilled jobs. They're looking for people like that. If you just Googled it, if you just looked into it, if you just positioned yourself correctly in these social platforms, did more research, you'll be surprised what comes up. So do that research, learn, be open about your gifts and your talents. Be open about where you want to go. You know how you have your secret ambitions? Oh, I want to build this, I want to start this, I want this kind of career. Put it out there. Share your story. You don't know who is watching. I'm not just saying just share everything, but be strategic in these platforms where people are coming together and there's so many people and so many opportunities that you can tap into and it can change your whole destiny. And I love the fact that being from a third world country, changing your life, just your life, could mean changing generations, could easily mean changing 3,000 people's lives easily. You know, so don't just take it lightly. Position yourself, be aggressive. Don't just look down on yourself and your gifts. You matter, you have something that others are actually praying for and saying, if only we could find this kind of person, and you are that person. So be aggressive, do your research, and position yourself correctly. The next point is really something I have already alluded to, which is be confident. Be confident, you know what you know. I have said that I am a pretty confident person, but you should have seen what I was doing when I was invited by people to explain a few things about my career and stuff like that. Oh my goodness, I was looking down on myself, downplaying everything. Till I spoke to somebody else who went through my CV with me, went through my achievements with me, and then they started saying, wow, you did that. Wow, you did that. Oh, you can do this. And I was like, yeah, it's just like starting a business. Like, you started a business and you won this grant and then you were able to do this. And I was like, yeah, but it's just, just looking down on everything. Because I have been so used to maybe people looking down, questioning what I'm doing, questioning my abilities, that when there was an opportunity to shine and somebody was admiring what I'm doing, I just downplayed it. That's operating from a place of smallness. I've been hurt. Maybe I consumed some negativity and now I owned it so that I look down on myself. Don't do that. You are valuable. You are able. You are capable. And I'm not just saying that as random words to motivate you, but it's true. Because the things that you take lightly, like, oh, I can just do this, other people take years and they can't even master that to get it done. They can't even do it themselves. No, for me, I started a business and I was like, okay, I started this business, so it was going this way, then I pivoted to this business, and this is what I noted. And somebody else was listening to me and saying, wow, that is amazing, that is impressive. And I was like, what is impressive about that? It's just starting things. And they're like, no, but you did this and you did that. So I realized that I was downplaying myself. I was underselling myself. And that shows. And when you downplay yourself, why would somebody look at you and lift you up? No, you have to be a person who sees your value and you confidently put your value forward and say, I can do this. I can learn this. I can master this. I have these capabilities. I have these strengths. I am organized. I am able to work under pressure. I have built this. I have achieved this. And I think coming from my culture, it's not often that you praise yourself or say what you have achieved. Even putting it on LinkedIn can be a challenge sometimes because you're thinking people will roll eyes on you and say, what are you saying? We just did this. We just did that. But focus on you. Focus on where you're going. Most people who really point fingers and roll eyes at you are not the people who you're looking to communicate to. They have no power to promote you. They have no power to connect you. They have no power to pull you out of anything. Chances are they can't even pull themselves forward. So stop giving them attention and just focus on you. Focus on your abilities. If you see some lacking areas in your life, use LinkedIn as well. Use social media as well to connect with people who have that. So you see you don't have confidence, you see somebody who has confidence. You see you want to be in marketing, you see somebody who is in marketing, reach out and offer something. I would like to learn from you. I can offer you my time. I can write all your things for you. I can organize your space for you. Like offer something in return so that you're like, okay, I want to learn. I admire what you're doing. I admire this that you did. I admire this post that you wrote. You are positioning yourself and you're going to develop those gaps that you feel are in there, because mentorship plays a big role in building you up. So be confident. I can't stress that enough, but you have to believe in yourself. And I love this quote that I just read and I was like, oh, this is really true. People who get the job or people who get the business, people who get through those open doors are not the most qualified, they're the most confident. Because when you have an opportunity, nobody will care about your qualification, but how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you articulate yourself, that goes a long way, because people will say, hey, this person seems to know what they're doing. They might not have the qualifications, but they could learn. Okay, so be confident, build your confidence, be intentional about doing that. And I'm doing a video soon about how you can build your confidence. Stay on this channel, subscribe so that you don't miss that. So we can get practical about how you can build your confidence, because it goes a long way in making you move forward. The last point I want to mention is everything has pros and cons. And I'm just talking to you about opportunities that you can find abroad. I'm in the UK right now, so I'm seeing opportunities around me. But there are opportunities in different regions, in Sub-Saharan Africa, in the west of Africa, opportunities in South America, opportunities in different places. Depending on what you're looking for, you'll be surprised that there are people who sit in their countries, they are disadvantaged in so many ways, but they have internet and they can do some research and they find this opportunity for a visa. They find this job that will sponsor them and they're able to take themselves out of that space and achieve something bigger that nobody could have expected. There are pros and cons to everything. Most of the times we like to lean on the cons. We just lean on the cons and we don't want to see the pros. But however, I want to tell you that there is a trade-in, okay? When you relocate from your country, you will miss the community. There are so many things that you will miss, but there are so many positives as well. So you should sit down and say, in this season of my life, Do I want to stay here doing what I'm doing, or do I want to look at other opportunities? You can actually have a plan and say, if I got this sponsorship or if I got this scholarship and move to this country, I'd stay there for 5 years and come back and do this, or I'll stay there for 2 years and do this, or I would stay there permanently, or I'll just go and see, then I'll see what comes out of it. Have that kind of mindset. Don't sit in a place where then you just think, cons, oh, this would happen, oh, what if this, and you never move forward. Be open-minded, because I am telling you, there are opportunities, bigger ones, and opportunities to make more, like triple. I was talking to my other friends, because I am a person who loves to bring my friends along, honestly. Every time God elevates me or shows me something, teaches me something, this is why I started a channel, this is why I post so much on social media. Because I'm like, God has taught me this, you need to learn this as well. Because I do understand being stuck and not knowing what to do, being stuck and not understanding options. You just need the right information at the right time with the right energy, and your story can change tremendously. So I was talking to my friend, because when I saw these opportunities, I was thinking, okay, there are some pros and cons. There's sometimes you're very comfortable where you are, but you're in a small pond, right? You're in a small pond, and I love what my coach said the other day. He said that sometimes it's better to be a toe of an elephant than to be a head of a chicken. So sometimes they're the head of a chicken, but the chicken has a short life. A chicken can just be slain in just a few minutes. A toe of an elephant is actually bigger than a chicken's head. So sometimes it's comfortable to be in your small organization, maybe in a smaller economy, and be the big boss there. And you might think, I don't want to mess with that. But messing with that can mean positive gains. You could triple your income. You could lower your costs. You could grow your plans and goals. Like, you know how so many people in Africa, like in my country, Malawi, we want to build homes. And we live like 8 years, 10 years in building that one home. You could relocate for 5 years and find that you built that home in 2 years. Because you have positioned yourself correctly, you have found opportunities, and you have such a good vision. So I was calling my friends and telling them, sis, with your 12 years experience, your 15 years experience, 20 years experience, with what you have, you should be able to kill it out here. Start to position yourself correctly. I called so many. I was telling them there are opportunities, there are open doors. And of course there's that resistance where people will be like, but how? I'm like, doors don't open by asking, like how? But we start looking. Because we don't find these opportunities because we're not looking for them. I never looked for them. I never really thought about visas and options and relocation. I never cared about that. So that never came. But if I start caring about that, then I'll start to see opportunities. And that's what I want to amplify. Not everybody can move out of their country, but there are some people who would benefit from it. Not everybody needs to relocate, but there are some people who can. Not everybody wants to come to Europe. You can go to so many different places. You can go to Zambia, you can go to Cairo, you can go to Philippines, you can go to different places depending on your interests, your skill set, and what you're looking for from life. But have you considered it? Have you taken that thought and saying, okay, let me focus my energy into finding these opportunities? So if this video was helpful for you and you want to learn more about this, I'm willing to do more research, guys. I'm willing to do more research so we can have more Malawians, more Southern Africans, more of my people taking hold of opportunities, not just feeling stuck and thinking, this is what I can get, that's it. No, this is what my qualification can get me, and that's it. There are bigger opportunities out there. I was just looking at how many manufacturing companies are in this place, and there are 270,000 manufacturing companies. And I was comparing that to 100 in my country. And I was like, okay, I see you. So I love my country. I have big dreams and ambitions for there, but I know that there are also opportunities out here. And this video is for you who is feeling like you want more and you're willing to explore this. Then I hope this helps you. I hope it gives you somewhere to start. I hope you go to your LinkedIn profile and start switching things around. I hope you start positioning yourself and building your confidence so that you will take hold of the bigger things that are available. Because sometimes you stay in a small place long enough, you start to think everything is small. Till you come to a place like this and you're like, okay, all right, okay, I see you, and I need to grow. I need to change how I think. I need my mindset to grow. I need my confidence to grow. I need my prayer life to grow so that I can then be able to benefit from the high things that are surrounding me in the moment. So I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, do drop me a comment, like, share, and subscribe so that we can continue to grow this community of people who are ambitious and are willing to make the changes that are necessary to achieve impact and wealth. If you want to work with me personally, there'll be links in the description box. Click, click, click so that you can be redirected to my website or to my inbox so that you can connect with me and we can grow together. My name is Memphis Tandizo Kanjata. I am all over social media. I always love to hear from you. And I'm here every week. So I'll see you next week. All right. Bye-bye.